Hi friends, it's here. Okay, just a preface before I even start. My name is Chris, but my artist name is Ella Nim. I do journaling and art and creative practice content, some commonplacing, some journaling, and all that jazz. I placed an order for Hobonichi. I placed a lot of orders last week, one of them being this Hobonichi order. To start off with, there is nothing from the new line in here. So if you're expecting anything from the new line, none of that is in here. I was gonna get the tin. The tin was sold out. I managed to take off the sticker, the packaging sticker. So we did that. For my other Hobonichi stuff that I ordered in the beginning of the year, I ordered it through Yoseka, so I didn't get a book, a life book. What are words? I I didn't get the box, so I'm happy that I got the box this time around. And of course, I don't have my box cutter with me because why would I? Oh my god, I'm so excited. First thing I got, I'm so excited for it. Let me zoom in a little bit. The Deco Rush from One Piece. Oh, I'm so excited. I didn't end up getting anything previous One Piece related. I'm not a huge fan of the covers. I really like the one where for the weeks where Luffy's like being like painting, but that's like a hardcover. I don't know, I wasn't really into it. I've never had a Deco Rush before, and this one is the faces of the Straw Hats, as you can see here. Oh, I'm so excited. This is, of course, to be used in my media journal most of all, foremost. And I think I'm also gonna cannibalize some of this and put it in my junk journaling. So there's that. Then I got the A5 Tragen cover, and I'm really excited to see how I'm gonna feel about this. Let me open this up and get it out of the plastic. Okay, so one of the things I was curious about, why is it so bright? Is it because of the Tragen cover? Oh goodness. Are you seeing the color difference? Jeez. Okay. Sorry about that. But maybe I'll record another clip in daylight so that it's a little easier to see. But I was curious about whether I would like it because of course it is much longer because of the week than the weeks is because of course it's an A5 size. But I've been really loving this. Is like super uncomfortably bright. I'm super overexposed right now. Hold on. Yeah, I got this cover, and I really love the Tragen cover. Do the tumbos fit in here? Let's see. They should fit in here. Yep, they do. They fit comfortably in there. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, so this is the first thing that I got, which is the Tragen cover, or I guess the first thing that I took out of the bag. I'm really excited. I love this material. I have an issue with some of the other materials on Hobonichi covers, like the nylon. It gives me sensory issues. And so unfortunately, even the beautiful ones, like I really wanted the Pine Forest cover, it's unfortunately that nylon material, and I know that I'm not going to enjoy it, so I didn't end up going for that, but I love the material of the Tragen cover. So I'm really glad I went with this, even though it is the same color as the one I have for the weeks, and I debated because I was like, man, but it's the same color. Should I do something else? Should I do a different cover because I already have a Tragen? But I just love it so much. I love the fact that it has a cover, or rather a pouch directly on it. I love this little pouch in the back, and I love the texture. So I just went ahead and said, I'm gonna get it. I also wanted to get another cover, another A5 cover while in it, but I did end up deciding against it because my budget didn't allow for it. And so the other things I got are, yep, the Hobonichi cousin A5 has entered the chat once again. I debated for a while on whether I was going to get the full book or not, but if you've been here for a while, you'll know that I have a really big issue with thick books, And so I wasn't, even though the idea of having a full year was super appealing to me. Let me go ahead and make you a little brighter again. Yeah, so even though the idea of having one book for the year was really appealing to me, I decided against it and I went for the Avec. The chokehold that the cousin has on me should be studied. Let me open this up. Okay, so this is the rest of the haul. I was debating before I keep talking about the Avec, and let me just switch this over because I know some people find that the yellow pretty offensive, so let's not offend anybody. I was debating for a long time whether I wanted to get an A6 or an A5, and ultimately I decided for the A5, but I've been really wanting a pencil board or something related to One Piece, and I've just not found something that I'm very into. One of my things with pencil boards is that I want to make sure that they have a darker back, and some of the colors for the One Piece items just aren't my thing. And I went and I saw this one, which this is a scene that I haven't come across yet on One Piece. I am just starting literally I just started yesterday the first episode of Whole Cake Island. So, and I know this is happening. I think this happens in the Wano arc. So, I haven't gotten to this yet, but I know that I'm gonna be obsessed with this scene when it happens, just because I know, based off context and some of the stuff that I've seen. So I know that I'm gonna love this, and it's gonna be special. And I love the colors of all of the covers. The only other one that I was kind of tempted to get was there's one from the Skypiea arc with Robin kind of laughing in it, and that one's pretty. I might end up getting that one at some point as well, but I did get this one. I do have the A6 that I'm using as kind of like a ink journal, but I could also just potentially kind of like use this to cut, like even within this one or any of my other journals. I have so many pencil boards at this point. It's become a collection of sorts, and I'm not mad about it. This is my first A6 one though, and I really, really love it. This is Yamato and Ace. Beautiful. I love them. I'm so excited to meet Yamato. I haven't met them yet. The next thing I got were these clear folders. So something that I've never talked about here is that I do collect anime and manga clear folders, and I've never gotten a Hobonichi one, but I was really into these designs. They're beautiful. And I figured I can have them in, inside of these covers if need be. And if not in this one, I could also potentially have it here in the back as well. Yeah, as you can see, it fits perfectly there. And just have that to kind of store bits and bobs. So I got that as well because I also collect clear folders, and just because they're beautiful. Like, I love the designs. They're gorgeous. And so I got the A5s. I'm a little nervous because of the paper. I'm not gonna lie and say that I'm not. I am a little nervous about the paper, but I decided that if it has some bleed, that's not the end of the world. And I'm not thinking I'm gonna use any fountain pen ink. Like, I'm not gonna use fountain pen ink primarily in these. I'm gonna primarily write in ballpoint, and these are gonna become kind of what my tan is at the moment, or was at the moment, which is basically like a commonplace media journal companion / daily log situation. It's gonna be a bit of everything, but a lot of commonplacing is gonna happen in here, which I'm really, really excited about. A lot of my journals at the moment are week based, and so I end up having little to show for the week. I'm really on top of my weekly journals. I usually end up doing the week prior on either Sunday or Monday, and so I'm pretty on top. I have a good system for getting those in, but I did miss kind of like daily journaling. And so I figured I wanted to bring this back and kind of experiment with it and see how it went. And I'm really excited. I'm really excited to have the be back in the Hobonichi Cousin. I am going to test some of the pages in. I'm not going to do my setup today, even though it is going to be in this video, but it's going to be a different session of me sitting down, because I'm pretty much going to be done with work today, and I want to get some stuff done, and I want to wait for my clear covers to arrive. I did order some clear covers already, so once those arrive, then I will get those these set up, or at least this one, right? Because this is the one that we're in, and I am going to do some backlogging eventually for January, but I'm just going to start. I'm not going to wait to start February to do backlogging. So, oh, I'm so excited to be in here. Yeah, so as I'm recording this, it is the 13th. I'm excited to see how it's going to end up. I was very inspired by people like Audrey, Adriana, and of course Mina Pomelo, Adriana from Audrey's Logs, Georgia's journals. Just so many of you have like beautiful Hobonichi cousins, and so I was inspired by you guys and some of your layouts. And yeah, I missed daily journaling, so that's what this is for. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and leave it there for now, and I will catch you in the next clip. Sorry, I just had to show this light because, like, look at this sun that's coming in. Yesterday there was a snowstorm, and today the sun is this bright. I just finished doing morning pages, that you can barely see because of the shadow, and tabbing up some of the pages that I need to go back to because I want to write a bit more about them. So just slight intermission there with that. But I wanted to show you the Tragen cover. She's so pretty. I love her. And this is it with the weeks next to it. The weeks is very chunky. I have no qualms with making them chunky. So this is the Tragen cover, and of course I will record another little session of this once the sun is as it is. But I did already start adding some stuff into it. I already put it in the Hobonichi Cousin. I have tabbed it. So I did tab here. You cannot see that because it's so dark. I just realized. Yeah, it's too dark for you to see. Let's see if maybe taking this off. No, it's still too dark. You know what? Maybe I could turn on my overhead and that might help. Barely. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do it later. But anyways, I just wanted to show you that, that is existing. I did also play a bit with the Deco brush, and I added some of it to the One Piece arc section. Where is it? Here. I should tab that as well, so you can kind of see there. It's so cute. I love it. So I did play around with that, and I really love and I also forgot that I had this in one of the bags, and I almost threw it out because I forgot that came in there. I really love that One Piece pencil board. I think it's gorgeous. I might decorate this today. I also did some swatching yesterday in this page to see if there was any bleed with a lot of the materials that I'm usually using, which is watercolor, the pencil sign pens, brush pens, midliners, of course some fountain pen ink, and there was barely any bleeding on this page. At least there was just slight bleeding with one of the brush pens, which is to be expected, and a little bit of bleeding with the fountain pen when I was kind of like filling in the little sections. So not much bleeding, but I do know, I've heard from multiple people that the pages, even within the journal itself, are not very consistent. So I'm not holding my breath too much, but at least on that trial page, it didn't do much bleeding, which I'm happy about. So yeah, I have to wait for my clear cover to arrive. I think I am going to deco this today, or at least start looking for how to deco it. And I did add this little clear pocket that I have left over from when I purchased a few of them from Lauren Phelps Design. So I added that here to the front. And I have little tabs in here, and then I have this little notebook that it used to be in my passport. I'm using it to, like, I don't know. This first thing was some lyrics it was stuck in my head and I couldn't let it go, so I added there. I think it's just words. Like a little quote book, perhaps. We'll see. I'm keeping it in here just cause. And yeah, that's what it looks like so far. I'll catch in when the sun isn't as intense as it is, but isn't it beautiful? especially after a snowy day. It's just really, really nice. Hi, welcome to the tabletop view. So I just wanted to do a little check-in with you guys because I just did some printing for some of the stuff that I'm going to be using in the cousin, and I kind of wanted to show you a bit of what it was. I'm going to be cutting these, and some of these pictures are not meant for like the cover themselves, but I'm going to be cutting them. I took advantage of the fact that I was printing and printed them out. I've got a few of these gorgeous printables by Susanna. Yeah, Susanna V. Bryant. I just recently became a patron of theirs, and this is beautiful. So I printed out a few of those. I went ahead and also like arranged some of them, and I printed all of these in white matte vinyl paper. And it's interesting because I got a new set, and it's this is like the old set and this is the new one, and it definitely feels thicker. It might be the backing, but it also feels like this feels almost a little like gloss, like smoother. Like I want to say glossier, but it's not. They're both matte, so I don't know. That'll be intriguing. I have to cut those up. And then I also have some here from Cat Collage Club, which I also recently... Oh no, I just realized they cut off a little bit. That's sad. Cries. But yeah, from Cat Collage Club. This is another one by Susanna. I'm obsessed with these. Oh, so good. So excited to cut them up. And then these are a couple of others that I got. This is for the actual cover for... I'm so excited for the Hobonichi cousin. So I'm going to cut these up and I'm going to work on the setup, and I will catch you guys again once it is actually set up. If you're interested in the setup process, I record those kind of setup process videos mostly for Patreon. Oh man, I just realized the quote cut off too. This quote cut off. Bummer. Printing hazards. Anyways, I'll go ahead and check in with you once I've got some progress done on the Hobonichi cover. Hey everyone, so we are here at our little checkpoint, at our final checkpoint of this video, which is to show you, it's been a few days, it's Sunday right now, and I've been kind of existing inside of the Hobonichi, trying to figure out my groove, and I think it's interesting because, and I don't know if this is a universal experience, but it definitely has happened to me more than once, and I wanted to kind of highlight it, is that I will have an intention when I buy a journal. I receive it, and all of a sudden I forget what that intention was, and I start doing whatever is natural for me, especially in journals that I've already been in. And things start getting a little cloudy and what have you. So the original point of the Hobonichi journal, and before I open this, because I have decorated and I want to show you, I just wanted to talk about this. The original point of the Hobonichi journal was to sort of replace what I was doing with the tan, which as you can see looks a little differently than you would have seen before. I had a whole little breakdown and decided that I wanted to switch up how it looked, because I think part of the reason why maybe I'm feeling a little uninspired in this was because I wasn't feeling the covers very much. So I printed out one of my printables that I absolutely love and have used multiple times, did some sticker skeletons, and then I also set up this back one, which has a bunch of stickers that my sister sent me and other stickers by other artists. And I'm just going to keep sticker bombing this as time goes on. And then I ended up adding, I have one of the clear covers in here. I ended up adding the two covers here as the front pages. And then I also added another little printable from Susanna here in the back with the year in a glance. But sorry, it's a little side tangent about this cover. This is the tan. I just switched the covers. The whole point of the Hobonichi was to replace how I was using the tan, which the tan, if you watched my January flip through, I have been using as a sort of media journal companion and as a commonplace journal of sorts. And so that was the point, was to replace this system, which wasn't 100% working, but was enjoyable for the time that I was in it, and use that in here. Now, I received the Hobonichi, and in the last few days, I completely forgot that that's what I wanted to do and started switching it up because I feel... I don't know. I like experimenting with journals and kind of seeing what calls to me when I'm in them. But that preemptive little blurb aside, let's go ahead and open this up. This is the Tragen cover, which I was nervous about it being an A5, but I do really, really like it. I did move this little charm that was in my Weeks Tragen over to here and move my Deco charms to the Hobonichi size one, since I'm not going to be using my olive as much. Those two tend to go with me whenever I do different media journals. So in here I don't have anything in just yet, I don't believe. Oh yeah, I have the little notebook and a micron in here. that notebook I'm going to be using for like lyrics and stuff like that, I think. But you open it up and this is what it looks like so far. So I just have a couple of things in here. I have a little template, some tabs that are just kind of hooked in with a little paper clip so that it doesn't move much. I moved in a Hobonichi template just to have it in here. And then these are little stickers that I have to actually stick in. And then a little bookmark that I have from a Sticky Club order. This is the cover that I ended up getting. And if you are interested in the actual setup portion of this, there is a body doubling session that I recorded and will be live on my Patreon at some point, probably next week. Probably as you are watching this video, it will already be up on Patreon because I post body doubling videos on Patreon on Saturdays. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this to the side. I did just end up putting some stamps that my friend Maddie had sent me, and I don't want to forget about them, so I just tucked them in here as emotional support as well. And then I have a pencil board here in the back. So let me go ahead and zoom you in. Okay, so this is what the cover ended up looking like. I went back and forth quite a lot and ultimately decided to just stick down one of the printables by Susanna that I was very much loving at the moment. And then I didn't want, because I am who I am, I didn't want it to just be her printable because I don't know. I am a amalgamation is what I like to say. And so I wanted there to be other artists present on my cover, and this could still continue to expand as time goes on. I'm still waiting for my clear cover to arrive from a Jet Pens order, so that's why it doesn't have one, but this will be in a clear cover. So the main base is a printable by Susanna Bryant, I believe. I will link her Patreon down below, and then there's also other things. So there's this quote, which I really, really like, so please do put. So essentially it was a fuller quote, but I ended up, unfortunately, it didn't print completely, so I just cut out the part that I liked, but it started with, you will never be able to experience everything, so please do poetical justice to your soul and simply experience yourself, which I felt like was really fitting because I want this to be a sort of commonplace adjacent notebook. And then I have some stickers that my sister recently sent me that I absolutely love. I have a printable from Erin Ware on here, a sticker skeleton because I have to add those everywhere, and then a sticker by Flesh PNG, which I really, really love. That's another one from Patreon, as a Patreon reward. And then a little sticker here by Plan by Jyla, which is from a Jane Eyre sticker sheet. And then here in the back, I have one of my favorite art pieces. I just printed out and put it here. This was originally meant to be on the cover, but it was just not working for me. Here's that little everything that was clipped from this quote. This is another little printable from Susanna, and then this is a offcutting from here somewhere on this little thing. And then you open it up, and I have a couple of printable prints in here that I am a part of a lot of Patreon accounts, and so I receive often a lot of postcards. This is a sticker by Mina Pomelo, another Patreon reward, and then these are just two art pieces that I really enjoy, and then I have some sticky notes here just stuck on so that I can easily use them. I did do some transferring of what I did in my tan, but just a little bit differently with stickers, and I don't really like it all that much, so this might shift next month. We shall see. I don't even know if I don't know. I haven't decided 100% if I'm going to continue doing this in here or if I'm just going to keep doing it in tan, because I think I like how it looks in the tan a little bit more, but that's something to be determined. Another thing that I ended up, and then I added this February sticker here. So the point of this journal was to use it as a sort of commonplace and media journal companion. And so what I had originally thought of doing with the weeklies was I log my media, let's see here. I log my media somewhat chronologically by day only in the Hobonichi weeks. And I like the idea of potentially having more of a time blocked equivalent to that. I haven't 100% decided what it is that I want to track here per se, but I kind of forgot about that and just again went into my comfort zone. And this week I started doing some like daily logging because I see a vertical weekly and I want to do daily logging. It's just inherent, like it's very natural for me. And when you're confronted with a blank page, the natural reaction is to want to do what you're comfortable with. And so immediately to try and be in here, because as soon as I am kind of living in the journal, it makes it a little easier to then kind of riff and experiment, but the blank page is very overwhelming, and the blank journal even more so. So I started doing daily logging, and I realized kind of in the back and forth that I don't want to do daily logging that way here. I want this to be more media journal adjacent. So this week is going to be an outlier, and hopefully I will kind of find it's going to take me a little bit to find a rhythm within these pages, because I'm going to be using this journal in a way I haven't used it before. And so trying to find what works and what doesn't is going to take me a little time, but I don't regret doing this, even if it's not going to be 100% how I'm going to do it moving forward. In the same way that I don't regret, like, I don't mind changing the tune of this journal and changing it, because at the end of the day, it's all reflective of my life and the things that I enjoy. I'm just trying to workshop my way into finding a system that works for me. So that's kind of what's happening with the week, with the vertical weekly. I want it to be sort of media journal adjacent, more so than in the daily pages. The daily pages, I want them to be more commonplace adjacent and more inspirational in nature, but of course they can kind of speak to each other. I foresee that if I'm not in it daily, because the point of this journal too is that I missed daily journaling, and I wanted a way to kind of be able to present daily pages, do more daily journaling. I have kind of in this experiment found what I want to do with the tan, so it's not all lost, right? Like, again, everything informs everything else, and so I'm grateful to have been able to do some of this. But this is not going to look exactly the same in the following weeks. This is going to be more media journal adjacent, where I will put, like, for example, like around this time yesterday, I was watching Yellow Jackets. I watched Yellow Jackets season 3, the premiere on Friday, and then around this time I was rewatching the last episode of season 1 and started rewatching season 2. So I'm going to be rewatching season 2 as I continue watching season 3, because it's weekly releases. And so that's sort of what I want to highlight in this area. What's going to end up happening, and I foresee that pretty regularly, is that a lot of my media consumption is going to happen at the later end of the spectrum. And so what I'm thinking I could do is maybe do fan art in the top, but we shall see. I could also potentially do something else that's going to be, again, workshopped. Another thing that I did is just put like a little tab in the dailies, because I found myself struggling a little bit with that. So the dailies was another place where I was kind of just like not sure what to do. I started doing a little bit of like daily logging here in the side. I was thinking maybe I could do daily logging in this section, but then I was struggling with the idea of, and this is something that happens to me often, is I have two kind of forms of journaling, and that is the as it happens stream of consciousness type journaling, and the I want to remember this type of journaling. And so what I mean by that is that I on Saturday knew that I had watched Yellow Jacket season 3 and wanted to talk about it, right? But if I am doing this as a daily log, which is happening as I'm stream of consciousness, then I would not have necessarily had the space to do this. And so where do I put it? Right. And so I'm always kind of battling, though. I can't have a journal that is both a stream of consciousness and then also, it just doesn't work for me on a daily sense. I don't know if that makes sense. It's a little hard to explain, but through this whole like little experiment, I realized, I don't want this to necessarily be a stream of consciousness type journal. I want it to kind of reflect the interest that I had that day that I wanted to highlight. So like, for example, this would have been Yellow Jacket season 3, exactly what I did here. On Saturday, I probably would highlight, I saw a movie called They Look Like People, so I probably highlight some of that. And then if there was any space left at the end of the week, I'll go in and kind of fill it up with additional things, sort of like what I did in this week of my media, of the tan, rather. I had filled this out during the week and then filled up the space with other inspo from the week. How many times can I say weeks? Over and over. But if there's any empty space, then at the end or whenever I do a journaling session, I will fill it up with other stuff that is related to the week, right? But I don't want to have this kind of like fight of not wanting to fill something because it's stream of consciousness, because I like stream of consciousness journaling, And then being afraid to do that because, okay, but what if by tomorrow there's something that I want to talk about and then I'm not going to have the space for it. And so I'm not going to do any daily logging in here. I'm going to do my daily logging in the tan. And since I did that weekly page, I experimented with that and I like it. I like it a lot. I can still deco it. And then what I decided to do, which I think is really, really fun, and I'm going to experiment it with this week, is in this weekly section, I will do a little summary of what I wrote about in the day. Because this is supposed to capture what my interests are in the week, day by day. And this is meant to be stream of consciousness as it happens. So I think that that'll be a cool kind of dichotomy, kind of relationship between the journals, because at the end of the day, I do like that all my journals kind of speak to the same time period, if you will. And yeah, that's basically the gist of what I'm thinking will happen. I still was doing kind of like daily logging here, but I think that's going to change in the upcoming days. And of course, it's going to be very experimental. A lot of what I'm doing right now it's brand new, so it might change, but I'm excited to kind of see how what I was doing in these pages will translate into a more daily page style, and then also be informed by maybe the weeklies and then having the daily log. I was doing the winds and pebbles, but I don't always do that, and so I don't want to have a dated space that then doesn't get done. So I might just move winds and pebbles to the stream of consciousness long form journaling, and that way I can just do my winds and pebbles when I remember to do it instead. But yeah, that's kind of like what I'm thinking is going to happen with the Hobonichi. It's going to be a commonplace journal and a kind of hobbies, kind of what my interests, what is capturing my attention, I guess. I know that I was watching a video by Adriana from Audrey's Logs, and she was talking about how her Hobonichi cousin is a place for musings and for the things that are capturing her attention, and I really, really love that idea as well. That's sort of what the tan was being, but I really want to do it in a daily sense instead. That way I have a journal that kind of, a lot of my journals were in a weekly setting and I missed the daily journaling aspect. So hopefully in combination with these two things, that will kind of feed that bug that I had, that desire that I had to be in a daily journal again. So that is what I'm going to be using my Hobonichi cousin for. I'm really, really excited to see how it ends up working. Of course, you will see what February looks like once it's time for the February flip through. If you have any questions or any suggestions, or any other channels that maybe you want to share that do something different, something similar with their Hobonichi cousins, do share them in the comments. If you are in a Hobonichi cousin, let me know. I don't know if I mentioned, actually, I can't remember if I mentioned it or not, but I did do a testing page and there was very minimal bleeding. I feel like I did mention that, but there was minimal bleeding. I know that it's not very consistent page to page, so we shall see. I am primarily going to be using ballpoint pen in here. So there's that. I've been obsessing over a lot, like a lot of us, Susanna's principles. So there's a lot of that showing up. But yeah, that's what the Hobonichi cousin is going to be. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye!